Hello, my name is Michael Gleisner. I'm the director and writer and one of the actors of the movie Deep Gold.
Proud to announce the largest gold recovery in the history of the Philippines.
Deep Gold is an explosive action-adventure set in the beautiful islands of the Philippines. Well, there's a lot of stories about gold being hidden in the Philippines, stories about the Japanese, the Nazis. Finding gold, finding a huge amount of gold, is the stuff that is great for an action movie. Action-adventure lives from locations. You want the beaches, you want the crystal clear water, you want the boats, you want the military base, you want the jungle. The Philippines and its tropical beauty has all that. And that's why it was so much fun to shoot here. Well, I love action movies and they're very dynamic. But also things change throughout the script, throughout the shooting, because sometimes we come up with ideas just in the middle of the shoot, and then you implement them and you make sure that it works with all the stuff you have shot in the past. And it's a very dynamic process.
No, but what we can do is we have the goal being passed around, so you don't know how long the line is.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I know. Stop. Okay, we get the door down. It would be good if you jump a little higher. You're here, you can handle it, right? You just steer and then boom.
You steady camera, so you have motion. Like here, a bit of a dolly behind the tree.
Exactly.
And then reveal them there.
Okay, done. Deep Gold is shot for a very long time. And I obviously, would love to do more action movies, but this time the duration from, start to finish has to be a lot closer. And you learn things every day on the set, and it's actually the fun thing about the movie industry, that no day is dull and no day is actually repetitive. It took me a lot longer than originally anticipated, but I didn't regret a single day that we spent shooting or post-producing or editing this movie, because it was an important movie for me. So let me tell you a little bit, what happened throughout the whole process of the shoot and, what I encountered. Well, the library was both an interesting set and provided for lots of action. We've always kind of wondered, what can we actually introduce to give a little bit more action. We ended up creating this library that is obviously a very elaborate facility that doesn't exist in that form in the Philippines at all. The inside was completely built on a soundstage, so we matched the door. Bibi's character walked in. We wanted to give her a lot of moments of beauty. I got help from a very talented action choreographer from Hong Kong. Alan said he choreographed a lot of action scenes in the typical Hong Kong kung fu movies.
Like this. Yes, I need.
The library fight was, very challenging. When we went over the possible actions, what could happen, I had a discussion with Bibi and say, hey, this is really complicated, we gotta get some stunt doubles in. And she said, no, let me try to do it, because I wanted to do my own stunts. And that actually helps you a lot as a director. In most of the takes that you see in the movie, that's actually Bibi that did her own stunts, and I'm very proud of her for that.
Good. See, that's what I want.
What was pretty impressive was the stunt team that we hired from Manila. The stuntman that ended up crashing through the glass didn't want any safety harness. He said, I'm going to just fall down on the floor from 3-4 meters. That was pretty courageous, and he did it without any specially prepared floor or any safety harness.
Action!
It just worked, but I can imagine how painful it was to him to actually hit the floor at that speed from that height. And that is obviously a lot of fun, to use all these different components to the point that they will be destroyed at the end, and you got to capture as much as you can when the destruction happens. again, in this case, the actress said, I'm going to do my own stunt. You're going to see me in the frame, so I'm going to be the one jumping in. So we had her jump in, and then there's the timing. It has to be right. The minute she jumps and is mid-air, that's when the operator of this detonator setup can actually press the button just before she hits the water, so we have something that's really continuous and it's really believable.
When her head entered the water.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
When her head entered the water, then you hit. We hired some pyrotechnic people, from all the way, from Manila. I knew that I had to do a test, before we actually go into a shoot. When he connect everything, he said, okay, it is hot, Ken. I said, okay, everything is hot. Okay, stay away, right? And then he pressed the button, and bang! No fire, nothing. Where's the fire? Everybody thought.
Every other take, there was no fire, or just was a bang and the thing didn't incinerate. But that's why you take enough time to get it right. And obviously, it's a stunt that's very delicate.
So finally, they did another test, and it was successful. Big balls of fire, came out, big bang, and then I know that we'll be okay.
We were able to check the footage right after we shot it. And what's your problem?
Well, it doesn't really look like a boat's just been passed.
I looked at it and I realized myself, because if you have a boat that passes the water at a certain speed, and then you cut underwater, and there's no trace of this boat, there has to be wake. I'm sure we can find something to create it. Maybe just, sky splashing.
Yeah.
Or really something heavy we just pull through. So I decided to talk to our crew that was actually about to pack up and leave and say, guys, I need you for one more day. And what we did is we created a little sleigh that created that wake.
And they saw it down there and looked at Yeah, that's the position that they want. Okay.
This helps a lot.
This helps a lot.
Because this makes the connection.
Yeah.
So when we were shooting, we just had a bunch of people attached to a rope and they were running, created the wake, and that made it a lot more credible.
And run! Okay, cut it!
You always have to really see if things work, and when you have things that don't feel right, everything else is for nothing if you have one element that people lean back and say, well, I really don't buy it. So that was actually very important to fix for that specific scene. There's no action movie without a car chase. We decided to do this elaborate chase, from the yacht club, and everything that happened during the car chase was during daytime. So there's not an option for you to just, say, hey, let's do it at 4 a.m. in the morning when nobody is on the road. Now, if you know the Philippines, there's not a lot of room for error. These highways are busy, especially in Cebu. The challenges we had here in Cebu to do the car chase realistically on streets that are notorious.
Yeah, I know.
It takes a lot of time to coordinate things. In a combination from shooting out of another car that was sitting at the yacht club. Then we had a camera car where we actually were able to mount our crane to arm out the camera to see all the chase happening from an elevated perspective. Then we went to helicopter shoots. Additional challenge we had is, because I decided to put one of the actors in a convertible. Usually these car chases are not shot with the actor on the wheel all the time. In this case, we had to really make sure that even the stunt and precision drivers could, match the actors. Guy had reddish hair, a beard. So that really, makes things a lot more complicated. So sometimes we come up with ideas just, in the middle of the shoot, and then you implement them. Boom, right? So this comes, you're here, you can handle it, right? You just steer and then boom. So of course, if you have a movie like this with lots of helicopters and boats and things are moving, you have to work with sets. And the art department has a big responsibility creating environments that we have to believe that are, authentic. And there is always a trade-off between being authentic and to have production value. Now, when you shoot on an airplane, everybody knows who flies an airplane. There's always, the feeling of this thing moving. So when we shot in the cockpit set, we actually had a guy who constantly rocked and shook the airplane a little bit to create kind of the impression that there is slight turbulence. And it's not a lot of, work, but you have to really be aware of it and, make sure that there's somebody, who pays attention to all these little details. So in case of the helicopter, we have this dramatic scene where at the end, this helicopter has to take evasive action. We wanted to cut inside the helicopter to see the whole drama. So we actually built the set in front of a blue screen.
We put the helicopter in on a platform that actually have spring at the bottom. Then the art department and also the whole bunch of people to pull the set to make it look like that the helicopter is moving.
I will say bang bang, and then you start to work. Okay?
You're under arrest!
I have hostage! Bang bang!
So we could actually turn the set and really recreate the movement of a helicopter banking. That has an impact on the actors. The actors would actually grab something to hold on that you cannot replicate by shaking the camera.
And it did come out that the set, the inside of the helicopter, looks like that it's moving. At the end of the day, I thought that was a really genius creation.
Okay, it's a wrap, guys.
And often there's little subtleties that you want to introduce to make things credible. But if you don't do it, it just takes away from the authenticity that you otherwise would have. And as a director, I had the liberty of giving me the best role in the movie, which is the villain. Everybody wants to play the villain. Nobody wants to play the good guy, because it has just much more color and much more cachet. It had to be done. You know it. I know it. Hi, girls.
You're crazy.
A good bad guy, yes, always is. He doesn't think he's a bad guy. He thinks he's entitled. He's doing the right thing.
You think so? Is everything all right or not?
He had this plan. He regards himself as a genius to execute on this, conspiracy that switched the gold and then got rid of all his, co-conspirators.
Why don't you leave him to me?
Not so fast.
Drop your weapons! Game's over!
I have a hostage!
All in a day's work. Now the final scene where Benny's character gets killed by Amy. Of course, she's a trained freediver, can hold her breath for minutes at the time, and Benny's not.
And action!
Well, working underwater is a lot of fun, especially for people like myself who love diving. And also Bibi, who's been a model and an underwater model also for quite some time. So she was actually very happy to do her own stunts.
I never shot something, underwater before, okay? And there was time that, she put in 9 hours, 10 hours straight in one day, and she did everything great,
And really sacrificed a lot to be able to portray these scenes very, very authentically.
I'd like to move it closer so we can control this a little more.
Part of the scene was shot in the pool, especially those that, had a camera angle from the side.
From the angle, it looks good. How tight are you though?
250. Okay. I got some really tight stuff that works nice. Once you get all of your shots there, we would like to have you guys pull back so we can get a couple shots with this camera. But that's after you're done.
Now, obviously, we can't have our safety divers in the frame, so there's a lot of coordination necessary when the safety diver actually gives you air, they get out of the frame, and there's kind of a signaling language that we came up with that ensures that when the actor needs air, that they come quickly and give you the air.
The most difficult part is how to communicate with them inside, the pool, in the water. Sometimes we use sign languages, and also we write it on a board, and it just, oh, come over, and then, and we show them what we write. Okay, we want you to do this, on the board, and then say, okay, we do it.
Reaction to gun. Okay. All right.
Obviously, we had a lot of safety divers. We had a lot of, great crew here, and they all made sure that we were safe. At the end of the day, I think we got the final scene pretty well done, where the Benny character, gets kicked into the abyss.
Rolling. And action. Let go. Tuck it.
No, that works. I have that. That works. Tell them that works. I have that.
Fun scene to do, and it was also very challenging, but at the same time very rewarding. What you see in the military base that we used for the night scene, where the gold was actually stored, that was actually one of the sound stages at Bigfoot.
The forklift would actually bring the gold into the warehouse, and then the door goes down. There's the chain link fence, the guy, there's the binoculars. You can shoot this way.
Realistic.
There'll probably be a little bit of a concrete base, and then the top will be 6 feet.
I think the one thing that people don't really understand about our department is how many tiny little details there are. You have to think of the material you're going to use, the paint, how you're going to make a facade, because a lot of things you can't build as actual structures just because they'd be too expensive. You have to think about where your DP is shooting, what kind of angles you're going to be seeing, how you can make facades work for those angles, and then you can create a mood, and you can create a place, and then the location of the set actually becomes a character.
Our department did a good job creating that visual that this is a real air base.
Then the camera's gonna do a 180 on a letter here, turn around. You see that over the shoulder.
Just this little area here?
The container, then a Jeep here.
Is the Jeep gonna be here? Because I was hoping we could put this big truck in the back too.
But when you have a big set, there's stuff happening on the set, so you want a lot of action. So there's a foreground action. We open the scene with this truck wiping in front of the camera. We have, the soldiers in the background. There's things going on. Things are being moved. Everybody has a story in it. The name of the game was properly directing the extras.
So there's an attitude clash. So wherever you react to each other, you hate them, they hate you.
Everybody has to have a story, and everybody has to be specifically told where they are at that point in time, mentally and story-wise.
Again, I need more action here. You're like, what's going on? Yeah. When you see it's like, what's going on? You ask a friend, right? Go back, and then there needs to be a little bit more action, right?
You either talk to your colleague, or you supervise something, or watch things, or do anything. So there's enough dynamic action in the scene.
Executive order from the department.
Come on, guys. We're out of here.
And we decided to do a scene where they actually retrieve the gold that has been found. And we wanted to be in a jungle that has high production value, lots of extras. Finding a jungle in the Philippines is not a big deal. But what you always have to keep in mind is that we have to bring a lot of equipment there.
As you can see, the location is a bit of a nightmare today.
A very poisonous snake. Threw a scour for the centipedes.
The biggest problems are probably going to be in the coordination of the extras, because we've got 30 extras on set as well today.
We know what the shots are. There's no problem with setting up for those, so it's just a matter of dealing with people.
But when I saw the soldiers in their costumes, it just looked like they came just right from the laundry. So, of course, when you age things, they undergo a certain process.
We cover them a little bit with, plant material, green, little pieces of leaves. That's what I need, not dirt.
If the extras are not credible, even if they are in the background, then the whole scene might suffer and you don't get the impact that you want.
I think one of the biggest advantages that you have when you do like a scene like this in the jungle, it's the elements. You have so many things out of your control. You're hoping to get the right light, but again, like we're shooting the rainy season in Southeast Asia, so you have rain pretty much every day. So even though we're ready and good to go, in 2 hours, a big cloud might come in and your day is ruined.
No, I do not want to shoot when there's no sun.
Okay.
Very clear policy, and also I need blue skies, which we don't have. Disaster!
Shoot a jungle. A jungle lives from, the many colors, the interaction of light with moisture, with leaves. And the first 2 days we just didn't get it.
So we're here setting up day 3 in the cave.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, today we have the light, it comes through, there's all these shades of green.
Sunbeams coming down.
Sunbeams coming down. If you're quick, then we capture some of that stuff.
That's good.
So we've been here 3 days waiting for the sun. Today we have it, now we're getting the stuff we need. Great.
You steady cam, so you have motion. Like here, a bit of a dolly behind the tree.
Exactly.
And then reveal them there.
Okay, done.
Okay, so
go!
And then the third day when we actually went there, we had what I was looking for, which was blue skies and bright sunlight. And then, we actually could really shoot the scene in the manner that I wanted to shoot it from the beginning. I wanted to have a much more dramatic shot of the gold. The gold has to be big, deadpan, crane, all the military, pull out, see the whole thing. So I might just shoot, one more.
The whole production value for a scene can be changed with an additional shot or an extra shot that you have that really, is grand.
Tonight this set is all based around one shot. We just need this one shot. It's a movie bird shot, it's an overhead shot of all of the military together.
The significance of this scene is much higher. The federal government takes over and the local police gets kicked out. So it needs to have some kind of shot that's, emphasizing the grandness of this action. That's what we're trying to set up today.
One of the intro shots to the movie, it establishes the feeling for the whole movie.
And we're doing a really extensive crane shot. We need to make sure all of our art is in place to make sure everything happens just perfect for this and that we're all on the same page. And when we're all on the same page, we can make great things happen.
The most important thing about this shot is that it's rehearsed properly, down to the T, so that when we're rolling film, we don't waste film, and we know that we can get the shot exactly how we want it.
I need some action inside. People moving around, we see them, the shadows are right. Okay. I had no idea that this door is so slow. Okay. Get the door down. Good. While the door is closing, and some people have to duck and go in. Otherwise, the door business takes too long.
Got it.
Okay.
And hold it. Alduin, center that. Center and set.
Action!
Pull back, dolly back. Good, nice.
And while it was pushing back into the warehouse, we crane down, we reveal all these soldiers disappearing with the gold.
Stay on the gold, the same place, yeah, good. See the guys?
In hindsight, we know these guys wanted to be secret.
Door down!
Something is shady. There's something going on. This government unit is taking over. But then, they close the door, they don't want anybody to watch. And, the setup pays off later in the movie. More than 3 years of writing, shooting, reshooting, and polishing and finishing deep gold.
It's a wrap. We go home.
You get one shot, the single shot that would make the scene even much more dramatic. And you gotta be true to yourself and go out and get it. As simple as that.